How is meaning more important than features and benefits? Hi, I'm Stephen DiPietro. What I'd like to walk you through today is an example where, let's say a customer goes into a bank branch and they've got a need for a new transaction account. Now, the bank officer then diligently pulls out a brochure and goes through this trifold thing with all the little dot points about what each of the products have. So they go through all of these features, and meanwhile, the customer's eyes just glaze over. Now, that's not a cool situation. You don't want that to happen, but we know through our mystery shopping business, and you probably fear it yourself, that that does happen. The same happens in car dealerships. Someone goes into the car dealership and the customer goes through and asks a few questions, and then all of a sudden, before you know it, the car dealer pulls out a brochure, something like that, and then what they're going to do is walk through a whole bunch of product features and benefits like you've got here. And things like an ISOFIX child seat mounting in the rear and dynamic braking lights with flashing function, whatever those things mean. But they go through these things with great enthusiasm, like you really care. Now, some people do, but most people don't. What you care about is what's in it for you. How do we do this? We ask the staff to empathize. So we'll ask some leading questions, get the customer talking, find out what's in the customer's mind, all good stuff. And then we'll present, once we have that information, we as customer service agents or as salespeople will present the features and benefits. It makes perfect sense, and we measure that all day, every day in our mystery shopping. But there's a problem with features and benefits, and I'll get to that in a moment. But the way it would work is something like, now let's look at the bank example. This account could work for you because it means you'll never have to visit a branch again. And you go, cool, feature, this product's got certain things that have got innate in it. Benefit, you'll never have to come in the bank again. Perfect, you go, awesome, sign me up. Or the other one is, in the car dealership, they might say something like, this 7-seater has 2 bucket seats in the middle so that you can get through to the back of the car. That way, you'll never have to disturb your children again. You think, perfect. Now that's how it should function. In mystery shopping in B2B, this also applies, and I use mystery shopping as an example, of course, but by doing mystery shopping, you'll be able to focus in on the exact parts of the operation which are not performing well so that you can target your training more precisely. It kind of makes sense. Feature, we're going to identify exactly what's going on. Benefit, you're going to be able to do more with your budget. Sounds about right. Now, here's the problem with features and benefits. We should be talking about benefits rather than the features. So how that would work is it would work like this. In the bank example, you would say, you can avoid ever having to come into the bank again by taking out this product with these features. So you talk about the benefit, and then the features are the supporting items behind the story. They make it sound believable. If you do it features and then benefits, do it in the original order, people glaze over. They say, well, features, it's got these product features, and you've glazed over before you hear the part about, and you'll never have to visit the bank again. So you put the benefit up front and then the features behind it. So how would that look in the car example? You'll never have to disturb your kids again because this car has 2 bucket seats. So that would work. In a B2B environment, you might say, again using the mystery shopping example, you can get more out of your shrinking training budget because we can identify the exact parts of your operation that need the training and not waste on other ones. So you see, by putting the benefit before the feature, you've just ramped this thing up a hell of a lot. Now, we can take it a step even further, because the thing about benefits is that they are the benefits as you read them. They don't address what's going on in the customer's mind. You have to get to the meaning of the transaction. So what I mean by this is that before you do anything at all, it has to mean something to you. And that meaning might be subconscious. Now let's have a look again at this banking example. So here's what meaning could mean in a banking environment. Due to the fact that you no longer have to visit the bank branch, it means that, oh, I can go to the gym now an extra time a fortnight because I don't have to go to the bank. It might also mean that, oh great, I don't have to go to the bank anymore because I'm still freaked out about hold-ups since that holiday that I had in Venezuela when I had that trouble. So you can see that it's something personal. It's in the head that you're not necessarily going to share, but it's going to drive the decision. In the car example, it may mean that because there are these two bucket seats in the middle of the car, it may mean that you don't have to disturb the kids in the middle and therefore have to drive around the block 5 times to put someone back to sleep when you get home. It may also mean that you can now take your parents with you when you go out because they sit more comfortably. It may mean that the two older kids who normally sit in the middle of the car, and this is from personal experience, they don't have to touch each other. And that is worth any sort of money you can throw at it. So the meaning is personal. Now, from a mystery shopping point of view, let's look at that as a B2B example. The fact that you can do more with your budget is great, but what that means to me as the client, it may mean that I look better in the company and I could get an inside running to the promotion. It could mean that I get to make a name for myself. It could mean that I can now save actually a little bit more budget and I can implement some of my pet projects. It will mean something to me that no one's going to know. Now, here's the point and the hard part. As the salesperson, you will never know what that meaning is because sometimes, if not often, the customer won't know themselves. But what you have to do is acknowledge and recognize that no matter what features and benefits you put out there, no matter what tricks you put out there, the decision is going to be driven by what that thing means to the customer. Now, what you can do is you can, through your questioning, help them have their own discovery around what this thing could mean. And through that discovery, they'll make their own mental connection. But you've got to do a little bit of exploration for them and you've got to create a path which you don't know the direction in which it's heading. Meaning is in everything. Meaning has to do with buying a car, getting a bank account, or even buying mystery shopping services or consulting. Don't underestimate it. That's why I talk about it.